therapy before? Well, I hope to answer that question today. I'm Kesha Martin, licensed professional counselor with BC-TMH. And if you're a returning viewer, you've watched some of our videos before, thanks so much for the support. If you're new and you're watching this video on Facebook or on Twitter, then go to YouTube now and subscribe. We could really use the extra support. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers so we can get our official channel, and it'll make it easier for people to find our videos. Today's topic is, when is it time to go seek a therapist? What are some signs that you might need to talk to a professional? Well, it's going to be very general, of course. There are always some things that I can't touch on in these short videos. If at any time you have questions or comments for me, please feel free to leave those comments in the comment section of the videos, wherever you're watching. One of the signs that is a good time for you to maybe reach out for help is if your emotions are just taking over and they just seem to control you and you can't seem to rein it in. So if you're having like anger outbursts, or maybe you're just having like some crying spells, you can't seem to get it under control, maybe some tips and tricks that you've used before in the past aren't working, you're trying to utilize your support system and you're not getting really anywhere, then it might be time to ask a professional and seek out their unbiased opinion on some things that might be going on with you. Another sign that it's time to reach out for help is if you're having suicidal thoughts or thoughts about hurting someone. Obviously, the sooner the better that you reach out. You don't want to put off your mental health and then it get worse and worse. You know, it's definitely time to seek out treatment if you're having those thoughts and you can't seem to stop thinking about it. Also, I would encourage that you reach out to a crisis line if that sounds like something you're dealing with, until you can actually set an appointment with a therapist. Even if you're not planning on it or you don't think you would act on it, it's probably a good idea to go talk to somebody. Additionally, another sign that it's time to reach out for help is if you're engaging in unhealthy patterns of behavior. Maybe you're drinking a little more than you used to, or struggling with substance abuse, or doing things that are putting yourself in harm's way or other people, maybe kind of erratic or uncharacteristic kind of behavior, that might be a good time to talk to someone. Another sign to pay attention to that it might be time to go see a therapist is if you can't break your pattern of negative thinking or ruminating thoughts, like you're just kind of replaying things over and over in your mind, or maybe you just have this like negative filter and you can't seem to find the bright side, or you can't seem to utilize any skills that you've gained before in the past with therapy if you've gone to therapy. Or maybe, like I mentioned before, you're trying to utilize your support system and you're not breaking free of this negative thought patterns or these ruminating thoughts, then it might be a good time to ask a therapist for some help. Another one I would, throw out there is if you've been struggling maybe with the death or loss of a loved one, and it's kind of you've been grieving a really long time, you can't seem to find a new normal, and you can't seem to get back into the things that you used to do or enjoy. If it's for a really prolonged period of time, then it might be time to seek out therapy. Now, everybody grieves differently, but sometimes it can get to the point where you just can't seem to break free of the trauma or the shock or whatever happened in terms of you losing someone. I hope all of this is helpful for you today. Obviously, there's a lot more reasons for people to go to therapy. It's not just limited to what I mentioned today in today's video, but they are things that I would encourage you to pay attention to, either in yourself or in a family member or a friend. So if you see these kinds of things, or if they're talking about these kinds of things, then I'd encourage you to encourage them to seek out therapy. You can find out more about me and our other clinicians at BC-TMH by visiting our website. If you're not already following us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, you can find all of that information in the description of this video if you're watching it on YouTube. If you're watching it on Facebook, then I'll put it in the comment section there too. And until next time, be well, be strong, and be love.